Hi there everyone, welcome back. After an extremely long hiatus, I am back, for I have been travelling the North American continent for the past 2 months. I have seen many things. I started driving in Los Angeles and eventually drove all the way up to Vancouver, of course stopping along the way. I then went over to Yosemite National Park, and I went on to Chicago, then up into Canada again to Montreal, and then down from Montreal into Boston and onwards to New York. And while in Boston, of course, I was able to attend the World Pokemon Championships, which were beautiful. And while there, I was able to participate in several events. Some of them free, some of them paid. And this assemblage of Pokemon we have here is from one of the paid events. It was a 6v6 roulette match. The orders we were given were to fill a box with 30 random Pokemon, battle-ready Pokemon, who must of course be all different species, no duplicates, and they must all hold different items. That, of course, as I'm sure you know, was a big challenge for me, since a lot of these guys like to hold leftovers and assault vest, but I had to choose very wisely and get them all in. So we have the Togetic, the Malamar, the Dusclops, the Feraligatr, and the Regirock on top. But of course, yes, you all know the rest, and it was definitely a challenge trying to choose different items for them all. So how it worked was, we filled up the box, then we gave the 3DS to our opponent. We were all given opponents. We gave the 3DS to them, but we were able to see what our opponents were doing, and the announcer would then shout out numbers, and the Pokemon that corresponded with that number. So we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and so on. Any number he called out, one moment please, we had to pull and pull over into the party section. That's good, sorry about that. Yes, and as you can see over here, this is what I ended up with. My lovely Milotic, my random ass Shuckle, my Tyranitar, my Volcarona, my Leavanny, and my Florges the Titania. No, Titania, the Florges. But yes, and it was definitely a challenge getting the different items, as I said, but I believe I ended up with quite a decent team here. 2 Pokemon that can set up Sticky Web, that's always good, and 1 who can set up Stealth Rock. We also had a strong physical attacker, a strong special attacker, a healer, and a decent special attacker who can put Pokemon to sleep. It was quite lucky. And yes, let's get into the first battle I had, shall we? I was able to make it all the way up to 4th place, and I won a hat. And while at the Pokemon Championships, there were tons of amazing things I could do. One of them being, one of them being participating in side events, watching the main events, and yeah, I was even able to meet Shady Penguin. He was a very cool dude, very nice, extremely tall. And considering he's younger than me, that was a bit depressing. But I know I'm short anyway. So here, we will move on to watch the first battle I had in the tournament there. Which, yes, was against this person, Guy. As you can see, he has his team there, and I don't think he did that well. True, they're all powerful Pokemon, but 3 of them are Mega, and they don't really complement each other. So, here we go. Out comes Guy. I decide to send out Leavanny. Of course, my mind is telling me to get up to Sticky Web as soon as I can. Out comes Vandal. And I go straight for that Sticky Web. But, silly me, looking at his team preview, I should have realized he has a Bishop, and what do Bishops like to do? They like to get their stats lowered, so they get that Defiant boost. Not sure why he decided to switch in instantly there, but I was able to get the Sticky Web up. It didn't get the boost. But Iron Head certainly does a lot. My neutral hitting X-Scissor did not do that much at all, but this is Leavanny. So the Iron Head and Sucker Punch combo is able to take me out. I figure the Bishop won't be able to hurt Volcarona too much, so I decide to send Volcarona in and go straight for the Quiver Dance. And yep, he does switch out, straight into the Blastoise. I figure he wants to get rid of that Sticky Web there with a Rapid Spin. But yeah, I want to try and take this guy out as soon as I can. He is a water type and I don't want him to hit me. So I go for my strongest attack, Bug Buzz, and it does a decent amount of damage. And yes, he goes for the Rapid Spin. Not too much of a worry for me, considering I still have Shuckle, who can set up both Rapid Spin and Stealth Rock. And I go for the Fire attack here, hoping to raise my special attack, which I do. And yep, it was able to take out the Blastoise at that health range. I am now +2 in attack, and +1 in speed and special defense. Did I say attack? I meant special attack. Go for my strongest attack, but it's able to survive. It must have been physically specially defensive, or at least holding the Assault Vest, and it does send Volcarona out with a Dragon Tail. Unfortunate for me, in comes Tyranitar, and I know that those Pokemon love to run Drain Punch. So I'm going to switch straight out here. I do not want to be taking a Drain Punch. And I figure now's a good time, considering his Spinner is dead, to send in Shuckle, who has some quite decent defenses. That non-stab moves should not be able to hurt me too much. And yep, that thing is probably going to die to the damage soon. He does knock off my Quick Claw. Unfortunate, but doesn't really matter. All I need Shuckle to do is set up these hazards. He must have been kicking himself pretty hard, knowing that his Rapid Spinner was now dead. But in comes the Bishop. Perhaps I should not have gone for the Sticky Web and only set up the Stealth Rocks. Because yes, of course, that gets a big Defiant boost, and it is a big worry to me. I'm able to get up to Stealth Rock, so all my hazards are on the field, but of course Shuckle is going down to a +2 Steel attack. So yep, down goes Shuckle. The Sandstorm fades, and here I figure my best chance is to send in Bertha and hope that I can get a Hypnosis off. I do not, unfortunately, but lucky for me, he does not go for the knockoff, which is what I was predicting. I figured I was pretty much screwed here. I believe a knockoff would have one-shotted me. I go for Hypnosis again, and luckily I am able to land it. So now that he's asleep, I hope to go for a Coil and get everything going, but unfortunately, he wakes up holding the Lumberry and takes out Milotic. I remember being at the tournament and thinking, no! My opponent was laughing maniacally. However, Titania is faster, and this, I did give it max special attack, despite it being timid, which is not something commonly seen. I remember my opponent laughing, his laugh turning into horror as he saw his beloved Bishop die there. Not expecting to die from a Moonblast, which of course is only neutral. But out comes the Swampert. Pretty worrying, especially if it has Rain Dance. I figure the best thing to do is to put a timer on this guy and Toxic it. Odds are I won't be able to survive a single hit from it. They're usually quite strong. But it does go straight up for the Earthquake. And Titania is able to live with 7 HP. Lucky for me. I believe Titania is, Florges that is quite a bulky Pokemon anyway, so it doesn't really need that investment. You may as well max out its speed and its offense. Moonblast does a decent chunk of HP, but of course Florges goes down to the Ice Punch. However, I'm not too intimidated by this Pokemon now, considering I know I'll outspeed it, and Volcarona should be able to take care of it. But I decide to let Tyranitar take the limelight here. I figure switching in Volcarona will force him to go for a Rock Attack. But he himself actually switches... sorry. He himself actually switches as well, out into Vandal. Perhaps he predicted my switch there. Or he knew that he'd die. Unfortunately, he gets the switch initiative now. I'm very worried here, thinking, yeah, there's no way Tyranitar can take this guy out. Only Volcarona could, but Volcarona's probably going to go down to any Rock Attack. Or even an Earth Attack. Surprise, surprise, he goes for the Stealth Rock, which gives Volcarona a chance. I highly doubt that a Giga Drain will kill at this range, but I go for it anyway, as it is my best hope. It is able to do decent damage, but yep, out comes the Rock Slide. But thanks to Volcarona's item, now normally I would have given Volcarona Lumberry, but of course I wasn't allowed identical items, so I ended up giving it the Bright Powder, after seeing another guy in a VGC tournament using Bright Powder on their Volcarona. I asked him why, and he said, well, rock attacks are quite inaccurate, so Bright Powder seems like a good idea. And considering, you know, we're playing by pretty much VGC rules, in that any items are allowed and any Pokemon pretty much are allowed, I decided to go for the Bright Powder, which did help out there. I was able to get up the Quiver Dance. I decided to be cheeky and hoped that he wouldn't stay in and go for a rock move. But oh, unfortunately for him, his inaccurate Heat Wave also misses. And I was able to set up and take him out with a Fiery Dance. Didn't get a special attack boost, but his last two Pokemon are the Ground Water type and the Rock Ground type. And considering I'm faster and have a Grass move, this game is pretty much in the bag for me. Yep, the Giga Drain takes out the Mega Pokemon and puts me back at full HP. And of course his last Pokemon is the Rhyperior, and I have no fear considering I am faster. I go straight for the Giga Drain, and he has a Custap Berry. No, and the Bright Powder does not help. It connects and is able to take out Volcarona quite easily. Very unfortunate, but with the Stealth Rock damage and all the damage he took before, Rhyperior is at very low health and is weak against ice. So in comes my Tyranitar, who of course is faster. And I figure there's no point in even Mega Evolving here. Tyranitar goes straight for the Ice Punch, and down goes the Rhyperior. He got very lucky with that Custap Berry. But victory goes to me. I had a very fun time at the World Championships, and this was my first out of 4 battles. Let's watch them all. I hope you enjoy. Thanks very much.